Hello, I'm that Critic Kid. I remember it because one day I'm going to be a famous movie reviewer on the internet. Speaking of being famous, today's movie that I'm reviewing is famous enough to have made it onto IMDb's list of the top 100 worst movies ever made. Let's take a look. So the movie's main characters are a karate instructor wearing a bathrobe and 3 young students. So we have a mentor with long hair and 3 kids who know karate. This concept was far more skillfully executed by Hulk Hogan and 3 ninjas high noon at Mega Mountain. And while that statement might cause eyebrows to shoot up, and several of my viewers to remark, "No fucking way," let me just put any doubts of its validity to rest with this short clip.
Evil and corruption, just as I must pass on the powers of the dragon to a new generation.
You mean us? Wow, I'm gonna be a superhero?
So the power of the dragon goes back to this character known as the White Dragon, who at night goes around kicking stuntmen who just stand there waiting to get hit. The power of the White Dragon comes in the form of these ridiculous looking masks. After receiving them, the kids immediately begin training, and it's not long before they're partaking in their first fight on the street. On rollerblades. Right, because the masks on their own just weren't daft enough. My goodness, this is awful. They're not even hitting each other most of the time. So after getting beaten up, those goons return home to their leader. If you thought the idea of those kids in the clown masks were ridiculous, wait until you meet the lead villain of this movie. Are you ready? You ready to meet him? Okay. Brace yourselves. That's all I can say.
What happened to you?
Yeah, that is their boss. Even by this film's piss-poor standard, this kid's acting is atrocious. And could it be any more obvious that he's reading his lines off a cue card or a teleprompter off screen?
Them all. Wipe the dragons off of the face of this planet forever!
That is just dreadful. And absolutely pathetic. Bang fist on table. So they prepare for the dragons by sparring with one another. And what do you do when you're getting your ass kicked by a little kid? Why, you get jiggy with it, of course. Okay, moving right along. So we cut to the 3 kids in a treehouse reading a comic. Oh my, that's a terrible cut. But anyway, what follows is presumably the contents within the comic. Or maybe the production staff just got high. I don't really know. But what I do know is that Robert Zadar must have been all kinds of desperate for his next movie role in order to agree to participate in scenes like this. I mean, seriously, what is going on? I've been on mushroom trips that make more sense than this. Okay, can we please go back to the treehouse?
Give me a break, Tanya. You're such a girl.
That's because she is one, Steve.
No, duh. I didn't know.
Oh, fuck me. Go back to the acid trip. So moving on, we get a big montage of the martial arts trainer, well, training, while the shithead kid gives us a poor and needless exposition on how he survived getting shot. We then get more shots of him training his students while the other boy and girl exchange some banter which is as weak as this guy's punches.
You're okay. You're a girl.
It seems the wind blowing into the microphone didn't care much for that either. We're then introduced to this character with a nervous twitch who negotiates with the gang leader to dump toxic waste into the sewers. This accomplishes nothing except allowing the kid to read more lines off screen.
Don't give me any lip, or you'll be exposed and you'll be history.
So we have another scene with the kids in the treehouse.
Why?
Oh, boring. Let's just cut ahead to another rollerblade fight.
I don't know that they've got the big ones, but they've got the hair.
Didn't understand a word of that. Never mind. When the kids get back to their mentor, Gary Daniels expresses what he thinks of taking this movie role.
This was all a big mistake. I'm sure Cobra Khan won't take this latest defeat easily.
You bet your silly dressing gown he won't, as we see him training with his henchmen in yet another montage. Oh dear, this is really quite shit. And that is not serious either. This looks more like an aerobics class for the elderly. After that, Slag, as he's called, tries to follow the kids home by disguising himself in a garbage can. It defies humour, and it defies all logic as well, as he vanishes after getting hit by a car. And after that, like we needed it, there's another training montage. For goodness sake, next. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Really? More aerobics with the villains? Stop it. Just stop it. I do not need to see a training montage every 5 minutes. Oh dear. I think I need to scream into a pillow. After the insufferable montages, one of the pocket ninjas meets up with his mother at soccer practice and then, out of nowhere, just pulls out a Game Boy. What on earth? Well, if you must product place a Game Boy out of the blue, at least make sure there's a bloody cartridge in it! You twit! So after that shameless bit of advertising, we get... What? Another training montage? For fuck's sake! How many training montages does this movie need? So then the mother shows up at the dojo, and when she meets the instructor, they both seem to feel attracted to one another. The movie conveys this through their thoughts and just does a horrendous job of it.
Her hair is like a waterfall gleaming in the sunlight.
I thought I'd stop by.
Nice muscles.
I made you some cookies.
What? Thank you, Mrs. Simmons.
Oh, you can call me Suzanne.
Okay, Suzanne.
Well, I have to get going.
I hate cookies.
I'll just die.
Uh-huh.
Any movie with logic would have done that in order for the characters to hook up later in the movie. Do you know why Pocket Ninjas did that? So that she could be baited in with a picture of him topless. I've just come to accept this. I've read reviews where people wonder why on earth anyone would chase a poster, but we're living in a universe here where kids govern gangs and people engage in patty cake combat. So yeah, it's no surprise to me that she gets lured in by this and then kidnapped. It's apparently no surprise to her son either. These kids are very nonchalant about it. The girl even gives the guy a kiss.
You be careful.
Right. Well, because the mum is kidnapped, a rescue operation is in order, but not before some training! Fuck you, movie, fuck you! So, what is after mercifully the last training we see? Two of the Pocket Ninjas have arrived on the gang's home turf and a big fight ensues. What the hell was that? I'll tell you what it was. An easy opportunity for a joke. But it would be in very poor taste and rather foul, so I'm just going to take the high road. I just need that bloody tractor to move out the way. And then the white dragon even shows up.
What are you gonna do, fuzzhead?
I'll tell you what, the kettle will now kick the pot's anus. And we actually now have some very good fight choreography. I am of course joking, the fight choreography is shit. Steve even has his dumb mask pulled off, but he fights back and knocks out the buffoons, then delivers a line that falls flat on its arse.
Boy, he's sure our wiener.
Stephen, I mean, just awful, really.
Just awful.
Yeah, honestly.
So the white dragon puts this goon away and then takes off her mask, revealing that in fact the girl has assumed the role. So the kid gang leader challenges the Pocket Ninjas to a game of Sonic virtual reality.
I played this game before.
Let the games begin!
Take an acting class. This final battle on the Sonic virtual reality machine is just unwatchable. Is this movie on speed? What am I watching? And you might notice that Robert Zadar is now being channeled into by the kid on the virtual reality machine, which is strange because before he was a character in a comic. This movie is just a confusing mindfuck. After getting slapped around a bit, the character being channeled into by the three Pocket Ninjas suddenly makes a comeback by using silly string to incapacitate his opponent. The Pocket Ninjas then take off their equipment and have a delayed celebratory reaction.
Yeah!
We then go back to the treehouse, and this ending is just startling.
In the comic it's easy, but what about the real toxic waste? How do we fix that?
Let's go get the stoners who are doing it.
We just can't accuse him.
It's not just the toxic waste. It's everything and everybody. We all are doing things that we shouldn't. It's going to be up to us and others like us to stop polluting the environment.
Where did they come from? Yep, I'm referring to they as in two of them. The sudden resurfacing of the toxic waste storyline and this Japanese accent that's suddenly being dubbed over this character. This ending makes no sense whatsoever. A character called Amy, who we've never heard of before, suddenly shows up and starts berating Steve. Then we suddenly get this over the top of it.
Excuse me, are you helping? Didn't I tell you to leave them alone?
Okay, Amy.
No explanation? I thought you were dead.
What the fuck? Why did she think he was dead? What lacked an explanation? Who was even talking? Would you just excuse me a moment? But with indeed. Horrible, nonsensical, terrible movie. 0 out of 10.
Who defies the great Cobra Khan?